From a cranky, nosy mayor to pathological liars and a jealous ex, this small town has more than its fair share of unlikable residents. Virgin River's most hated characters of all time. The surprise Netflix hit Virgin River has taken fans of episodic drama by storm. The story of nurse Mel Monroe and the small California community she moved to is addictive. It's a mix of melodrama, romance, love triangles, tame crime drama, small-town secrets, and Hallmark Channel levels of cheesiness. Has proven to be a winning formula. While characters like Mel Monroe and Jack Sheridan have stolen the hearts of viewers worldwide, others have been equally hated. Let's take a look at a few of them, their roles on the show, and why they are so despised, starting with the despicable Dan Brady. Played by actor Ben Hollingsworth, Dan Brady served in the Marines with Jack Sheridan. While both men were clearly negatively affected by their time at war, Brady had a much harder time dealing with his trauma. That led him down dark roads, making viewers really question his character. Despite being Jack and Preacher's friend and the fact they gave him a job at their bar, Brady stole from them. Preacher, more of a realist and less idealistic, tried to urge Jack, who was closer to Brady, to fire him. But Jack refused. The heartthrob wanted to see the best in his troubled buddy. Brady, being the hateable character he was, took advantage of Jack's understanding and patience, before asking to be made a manager. Thankfully, Jack Sheridan refused, and that led to a rift between the two.
You earned this.
Brady left the bar and, being the shady individual he was, looked for the best way to make money fast. And that led him to get involved with Virgin River's local mob boss, Calvin. Don't ask why a small California town has a mob boss. It's called suspension of disbelief. Brady's main job for Calvin was helping the drug lord take control of Lily's farm. Calvin wanted to use the farm as a front for his drug smuggling empire. But he couldn't just come out and tell her why he needed to purchase it. So he employed the services of Virgin River's pathological liar and had Brady try to deceive Lily. When she gets wise due to Jack's interference, Brady and Calvin's working relationship suffered. Dan Brady was arrogant and lazy. He'd constantly betray his best friend who tried to see the best in him, and he'd always look for the easy way out of every situation. Though Brady tried to redeem himself after being tasked with killing Spencer on the order of Calvin by helping the murder target escape Virgin River with his family, the man is still a scumbag in fans' eyes. Then, to make matters worse, he's dating Mel's sister, which hasn't endeared him to the Virgin River community.
We have to take him out of you via cesarean emergency C-section, and I was like...
Next up is the one woman determined to stand between destined love, Charmaine Roberts. When Mel Monroe first arrives in Virgin River, Charmaine is in a relationship with Jack Sheridan. A few problems immediately arise from the newcomer to town. Jack starts having eyes for Mel, and Charmaine can't handle it. Charmaine and Jack's relationship suffers before he ultimately broke things off. Understandably, this pisses Charmaine off. The two had been together for 2 years before Mel came and mucked up the works. But Charmaine, well, she was determined to get Jack back. Charmaine was passive-aggressive and catty, not hiding her hatred for the woman that ruined her life. Every chance she got, Charmaine tried to rekindle the flame with Jack, but he resisted. That didn't deter her. Instead, it just made her hate Mel. And since fans love Mel with a passion, that made it hard for them to find anything to like about Charmaine.
It was a beautiful experience with her. I pushed her out in 20 minutes, and she was the glorious happy baby.
Then a bombshell was dropped. Charmaine was pregnant with twins. Who was the father? Jack Sheridan. Charmaine tries to use the pregnancy to get Jack back, but fails. The much more likable Jack promises to be there for their child and for Charmaine, but not in the romantic way she desires. Things only get worse when the very woman who ruined everything between her and Jack is tasked with being her nurse practitioner, Mel Monroe. For a little bit, people felt for Charmaine when she has a major health scare. Mel and Doc Mullins try their best to get her to go to the hospital for treatment, but Charmaine refuses. She has a thing about hospitals since that's where her mom died. Eventually, Mel manages to get through to the woman who hates her freaking guts, and gets Charmaine to agree to treatment. Petty Charmaine decided not to let Jack know that she planned to throw a baby shower for their twin boys after she recovered. Things get even more complicated when the single mother has to figure out where to live once she gave birth. Up to that point, she'd kind of been couch hopping. She considers moving to Oregon with her aunt to start a new life away from the life that she felt was stolen from her. Now by this point, to the uninitiated, Charmaine actually looks like the victim here. She had something good, and the beautiful new girl in town took it from her. Jack knocked her up, but was too smitten with the pretty blonde to care about her and their kids. And her trying to get her love back would be a mission that people usually get behind. The only problem was in how she handled things. Charmaine was very immature. She could have gone from passive-aggressive to regular-aggressive, or downright manipulative at the drop of a hat. And she was spiteful. Every chance she got, she tried to get under Jack's skin, as payback for betraying her. Which, to be fair, he did. Rounding up this list of the hateable is a character fans have gone so far to call the worst character in television history on Reddit. Virgin River's gossipy mayor, Hope McCree. The biggest pillar of Hope's character lies in a relationship with the town doctor and her ex-husband, Doc Vernon Mullins. For 20 years they were separated, after Doc Mullins slept with Charmaine Roberts' mom decades prior. Ever stubborn, Hope just refused to accept Vernon's apology. But that didn't mean that she didn't still love him. When she finally accepts his apology, the two get back together in secret.
What's going to happen with her traumatic brain injury, and also how's that going to affect their relationship?
Mainly due to her hesitation to let anyone in Virgin River know that she took him back after all those years of bad-mouthing him. Then the green monster inside of her rears its ugly head when she learns that another woman in town, Muriel, has a thing for Vernon. In an attempt to save her reputation and hide her getting back together with Doc Mullins, she encourages him to start seeing Muriel. They start spending time together, and of course, she gets jealous. This is when that spiteful part of Hope becomes clearer, and she reverts to what she does best. She meddles in other people's relationships. When Vernon has to take a work trip to Seattle, Hope learns that Muriel will be in Seattle as well. Jealous and nosy, she finds a voicemail on Vernon's phone, completely invading his privacy, by the way, that talks about Muriel and Vernon meeting up while they're both in the Emerald City. Vernon returns from his trip and wants to renew his vows with Hope, but she gets angry and reveals that she knows about the voicemail. He tells her that Muriel wanted to meet up to help him pick out a ring. Secrets get their relationship in trouble, and it's the revealing of secrets that made fans hate Hope McCree. Hope and Jack have always been close, like family. When he and Mel started taking an interest in each other, Hope questioned his integrity, seeing that he had been with Charmaine. That led to them growing apart. But when Hope found out about Charmaine's pregnancy, she just couldn't stop herself from meddling. Not willing to risk what was left of her friendship with Jack by telling him about Charmaine, she took the very snake-like route and told Mel instead, throwing a hand grenade into the nurse and Jack's relationship. That perfectly encapsulates the problem with Hope McCree. While she's often nice and seems to have the best intentions, all of her friendships are weirdly one-sided. She likes to manipulate people while trying to make herself come out smelling rosy, and it doesn't seem to matter who she hurts. Everyone is a means to an end. So whether it's shady Dan Brady, the vengeful ex, or a manipulative mayor, those are Virgin River's most hated characters of all time.